So, hello everybody. Here we are again. Me, Maria, which we missed for the last two episodes.
Sorry.
Yes, Maria is back, and we are very honored today to have with us Mr. Kalman Greenfield, which is an experienced business leader and AI strategist who helps organizations adopt an AI first mindset to drive innovation and competitive advantage. What exactly is that, Kalman? Can you give us like a little bit your light on AI mindset? What is that?
Well, thank you, Alex. That's a very wonderful introduction, way
Thank
above my head.
you.
Thank you. So, having an AI first mindset to me really means, on the basic level, it means that anything someone tells me they're having a difficult time with, I ask myself, can I do something better with it? Can I shorten it? Can I make it easier with AI? And then I try it myself. So, say my technicians are stuck in a problem, I would tell them, oh, just send me a screenshot. Let me see what I could do with it. And then instead of trying to convince them to change their way of working, I just fix it in 2 minutes. And then that changes people's mindset on the spot. The idea is not to be changing every day something or working on this, but really having that change in culture that says, I'm always looking for a better solution. And I don't care if it's called AI or a better employee or a better process that we're going to implement. I just want better solutions to any problem I find. And currently, the most advanced technology out there is AI. So I'm going to see if something in that whole technology stack uh, fits for the needs I have for my goal.
But I have. Let me ask you this because I went to this exhibition recently, the in Barcelona, the Mobile World Exhibition, and it was like overwhelmed from AI. So there was everywhere. Everybody was selling AI. How, through your experience, how do you feel is the let's say the perception of AI in C-level executives? How do they see it, and is it something that you feel it's a fertile ground to be adopted? I feel it like a big wave that came and no one really knows what is it about.
Right. I was actually in a meeting the other day that was discussing exactly these issues with C-level people in a big company, and I noticed there were two main groups in the audience. One were people who were saying, "This is the end of the world. My job is over. We have to find out how we can save it, how we can." And I can sense in their answers that there was fear there. It wasn't like, "Oh, this is something that's new, and how can I utilize it?" But it was this fear of, is this just going to take over what I do? There were certain people in the team that I can recognize that they could no longer see their value very clearly in this new AI era, and that was scaring them a lot. And I think that's something we first of all have to address to make sure that as leaders, we're making sure that our employees and people who are joining us are not worried that we're looking for a replacement for them, but that we're working with them to empower their future.
Yeah, and it's about reskilling, right? Giving these people the skills to work with AI, not to be replaced by it and be enhanced.
But,
Right.
but is it so simple as you say, Maria? Because I feel, I mean, if you are a C-level executive, obviously you do something that is quite complex and has a lot of depth. But I see a lot of works, for example, translations, right? Research, or I want to prepare, let's say, my CV. I put the data inside, and AI comes out with perfect English written in a. It's amazing. I mean, there is no need anymore. Before I was writing articles, I mean, I had articles for SEO purposes that I gave them to somebody else to write them. This is something that I don't do since AI appeared. I cheesed. So this job for these people is gone suddenly.
Right. And they have to redefine, well, we what our job is to redefine every person in our structure to see how we can actually find their most benefit, that they can give us. I'll give an example. Our I also have a presentation if you want. I can show you a little bit more about it. But one of our teams that probably got most benefit out of this were the accounting, and they were the historians of the company, right? They figure out what happened last month, and by the time they give you a report, it's outdated, and it's like, oh yeah, if we ever have a problem, we'll go back and see what they did. So their job was really in the background of the company, more like security, insurance, lawyers. That's who they discuss their day-to-day work with. Now, those same people who were just giving us these history reports are now an active part of the team every day using AI to get on the spot live results, and they're able to be part of the development team, part of the marketing team, and really drive the company forward in ways that they never were able to even do. So it could be that now they're spending only 10% of the time going through numbers and reports and things, but now they're giving the team way more than they were ever able to do. So they're no longer historians, they're more like prophets.
Yes, that's a very valid point, because I can see that this hard work, let's say hard, boring work, it's away from my shoulders now, so that I can use my time on things that really matter, and don't spend it in things like you said. And I can imagine, as an accountant, the values can be tremendous.
Right. And I'll show you an example. Like I was preparing for a speech.
You
and
want
I
to
was
share your screen, maybe?
Sure.
Yes. At the bottom there is a button.
Okay.
Share screen. So if you press there, then you can share your screen and show us.
Perfect. All right. Do you see this on the full screen or not? I'm not sure how it comes up.
Add to scene. Let me see.
See it.
Yes. Now it's here. Yes. Okay.
Now it comes out like a full screen?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, we'll do it like this then. So preparing a presentation for me, the first thing we would all do is basically, I look at my screen, right? It's blank like this. And I start thinking, what am I going to do? And I start putting pieces together. Or maybe I've even smarter. I did a course in college. I know what I want already. I may have a presentation I did before, and I'm going to edit that one. That's traditional. That's what I would traditionally do, right? But I'm an AI first. So I came to it and I said, you know what? I'm not going to just make a presentation by hand in PowerPoint. I'm going to try to work it out with AI before. So you would go into a tool like, say, GPT, right? And we will analyze the perfect slide, the perfect structure. And then it would give me recommendations. And then say I would try to follow those instructions and create my presentation. But then I thought, wait, that's not enough. I'm a real AI specialist, right? I'm the top of the line. I got to do something a little bit better. So let's use real AI to create the presentation. So first I tried to prompt GPT. I got these like really lame slides with some words and maybe some weird animations and things. And then I tried to use Canva, and that was pretty nice. I was able to get something together, but it takes a long time to work on those. And that's what I call a faster horse. That's running faster. We can get to the same goal of creating the presentation. Just may take us a little bit longer. But then I realized I wasn't failing because I had the wrong idea of AI. Wasn't failing. I was failing AI. I was expecting AI to work the way I work. I wasn't really asking am I trying to solve. What I was really trying to solve is a communication issue. I wanted people to have a nice visual on the screen, me to have the words to say in front of me, easily switch the slides. But I was thinking to myself, I need a PowerPoint presentation. So my whole workflow with the AI was trying to see how can I get a slideshow. But a slideshow was created in the 90s. When I was a little kid, it was it's based on these like roles that we used to have, like where you turn it's like a 7-year-old technology, really, what we're trying to create here. So using AI to try to create a 7-year-old technology, I realized I'm approaching this in the wrong way. So I recently joined as a CTO of an AI incubator. It's called EVU in New York. And what we do is we have different startups that are trying to create the next wave of technology, the next big Uber, the next CapCut, PayPal, things like that. And they're all trying to find that next thing. And what we've noticed from our vantage point is that even though those two first ways we met, and those are the ones really the market is going for, that's what most people think of when they think of AI, they are limited. And we realize there's a third one, and we try to implement all three of them inside EVU. So let's think of the first one. We have our co-pilot mindset, right? That's when you start asking, how can I make this faster? How can I make it better? How can I make myself smarter? That's using GPT to plan, maybe to analyze some information, and you become much more efficient. So that's the first stage. The second stage is automator mindset. We start going through our workflow and we find what are those things that I do every day that if I had the technology available, I can automate. And some of it is not AI. We're not talking about AI yet. We're talking about the AI revolution. What the AI revolution gave us was, besides the ability to create AI devices, AI technology, we have the ability to create legacy technology with AI at a fraction of the price and speed. So a tool that would cost us, say, a PDF editor, which costs, say, I don't know how much PDF, how much signed PDF invested, but I'm sure they invested several $1,000,000 just to create the technology. And now with 2 or 3 prompts in GPT, we can create our own PDF signer, editor, and that's for free. So maybe it's not market ready, we can't sell that, but we can definitely use those tools internally. So the question is not always just what AI tools can we use, but what traditional tools can we use that are now available to us that in the past were not available. And now finally, we get to the architect mindset. And that's where I really get excited about it, about the future. Because, and I think we can cut this short. I think the most important thing I realized, and I'll use the example of the slideshow to bring this point home. First, I said, let me improve my abilities faster, better. Then I tried to automate it in a certain way. And then I said to myself, and here's the secret. You ready to see my secret?
Yes.
I'm not actually using a PowerPoint presentation at all today. I'm using an HTML document that I built with one prompt in AI. Check this out. This is what's switching your slides. I built it in 5 minutes. It took me no time. You guys see the slides changing. I see my text. It works just like a PowerPoint presentation. We're solving the same problem we were solving before, but we're not doing it the way we did it before. We're doing it with our new AI way. We're using AI language to actually create the technology that is convenient for the AI to create. And we're not saying, how could it do my legacy technology?
Yeah.
So let me explain, please, to me, Kalman, because I am the less AI educated here in the room. So if you go to ChatGPT and you put like there the prompt, then you can create a presentation like that.
Yeah, and I'll show you the process right now live, okay?
Yes, please.
Do it live. So I would go into, let me share again. Let's go into Gemini. I'll create a new chat. And we'll just say like this.
To add you on the, yes.
Yeah, there we are.
Here it is, yes.
All right.
Okay.
So I'm just going to choose to do a canvas. I'm using 2.5 Pro right now. For anyone who doesn't have a Gemini paid account, they can always just use Google AI Studios, which works pretty much the same. Okay. You have a limited amount with 2.5 Pro. And you just go inside, choose your canvas, so that we'll put it in the document and say, create a, with spelling mistakes, a beautiful HTML slideshow for my birthday party. I can give it some CSS and ideas like that, but let's just use layman words, right? Make it amazing and look like $1 million slideshow with speaker notes, a presenter view, a teleprompter, presenter view with a teleprompter, and a clock, and a separate window to show the presentation. Do it in HTML and make it very nice. The only technical word here you would need is to say the HTML part, because that's what's really making deciding what code it's in. And Gemini is the best at doing HTML. That's why I like using Gemini for it. And it could be this prompt is good, could be not, because I used very layman terms. But let's see, this should be enough to at least get the basis for our slideshow. And sometimes I like looking through the thought process, just so I understand how AI thinks, how it creates its thoughts, what it's constructing, and not just, that's how I become more and more of an expert in AI. I understand its thought process. This is the real secret of understanding an AI's thought process and knowing how to prompt it better in the future. So we can see here it's generating the HTML code. For people who don't know what this means, it's just the way for the computer to understand our language. So it's the computer language. It's usually what browsers read. This is how they understand our language, is through HTML. So that's why if we create something like this, it's called a static website, which is very, very easy and fast to create. And even here, there are some things that are very, very different. For example, a regular programming would say this is completely wrong. You have a full file with JavaScript, CSS, and your HTML all in one. It's a whole big mess. But no, AI is doing it. AI is reading it. We can build an AI way. We don't need to build in a way that is convenient for us. Now, the next step is you need to use any kind of window, like a notepad. I use regular notepad on the computer. You save it you give it a name, keep the HTML at the end.
Yeah, we don't see your screen anymore.
Right. I'm just going to show you the results in a second. And these are the results we got. And we would do open presentation. There we go. We got the presentation itself. Happy birthday, Calman. Welcome to the celebration. And we can go into our presenter view, and it opened our presenter view. There you go. It even added some cool coloring with our mouse hovering, and we can switch the slides, no problem. If we give it links with pictures, it would also input the pictures. If we tell it to add icons, it would add icons. So we can really just do it like this. It's that simple to create.
Alex is speechless.
Yes, I'm speechless. I'm speechless, really. Yes, when things go a little bit more complex, and not in the terms. So I am that far educated that I can create a prompt that is quite complex, and I receive an answer that is a very good answer, right? But when it comes, let's say, to PowerPoints, to Canva, I gave up in some point, because I experimented a little bit with Canva specifically, and it was more difficult to come to the level to create that through AI than to go myself there and do it myself.
And now you have tools like Gamma, which is really, really easy to use. I mean, it's like you can just put a prompt in and it will create an amazing slideshow for you, but you can also create your own. I mean, you can import documents. That's very easy to use.
That is called Gamma.
Gamma. There's a few. There's Gamma, Beautiful. What else?
Okay.
Right.
Gamma.
Let me show you guys actually what it would look like if I was trying to do why a lot of people feel like their AI is failing. Okay. I took the exact same prompt we built before, which we were successful with building the birthday presentation with the spelling mistakes and all. And then the only thing I changed was change the word HTML to PowerPoint. Okay. And we're going to see what does AI do when we give it a prompt to do what I want, right? As opposed to what it knows how to do. So that's where we started off with. What I was saying is pinpointing what the real pain point is. We are used to calling a presentation a PowerPoint presentation. So when we think, how can AI help me? We ask it to build us a PowerPoint presentation. And that's where we're going wrong. AI can redefine everything. We're not talking about a faster horse. We're not talking about a faster rider. We're not talking about a better saddle or better turf. We're talking about a completely new device called the car. Right? And no matter how fast you can get your horse, no matter how good anyone's going to get at getting AI to create the best PowerPoint presentation, it could never get to as good as it can create an HTML file. That's really our core understanding of AI has its own strengths. And if we can understand where its strengths are, we can utilize it way, way better.
Yeah, so there it doesn't recognize the
We cannot create it.
Yeah.
Can't do it. Try to force it. Do it anyway. I know you can. Right? So, and really that's where we find ourselves all the time, where we're trying to do these things and we're like, yeah, can't do it. AI is not good enough yet.
Yeah.
It can't do presentations even.
Blame the tools.
But can it be also, Kalman, that many platforms, they on purpose, they disable or they make the life difficult to AI tools?
What do you mean?
I mean, for example, if for example, I want to make a research on LinkedIn to export some leads, right? LinkedIn has some restrictions.
Yeah.
For reasons that I can understand why, right? I don't want to say that I invested days or months investigating on how to achieve, but I mean, I feel pretty much restricted, and I cannot overcome, like, let's say, if I have a list of 1,200 contacts, to export that without manual work, let's say, on that, due to the restrictions that the platform imposes.
Right. So there's a lot of that, and they do it on purpose, obviously, to keep themselves safe, scraping, harassment, all these other things that companies would do. And there are tools that are designed specifically for it. For example, you can't use your AI to run through the Best Buy store. They have these like secret hidden links that only AI sees. So if you're searching for an item, AI slams on all these lists of fake links, and then it thinks it's in the right place, and it just confuses it on purpose. So they have these systems designed, and their goal is to get you to really partner with them and not just take their information.
Yes.
But the tools do exist even to overcome that. Meaning, for example, there's a tool today called an AI browser, where instead of it trying to use AI to go through the internet, it's using a real browser, and the AI is just moving the mouse around.
Okay.
And moving the mouse around is that the systems don't recognize, so it's able to extract the information. There's some to do it in a more unique way, but each one of them is designed for different type of systems to be able to extract the information, and those are called scraping tools. I'll give you an amazing example. A guy I know from Bangladesh, he used a scraping tool to grab 10,000 stores on Getty or one of those like online stores where people create their stores.
Etsy?
And he found Etsy, right? Etsy, yeah, that was the one. And he found a bunch of people that didn't have a website or had a website that was extremely outdated. He used AI to scrape all their information. He got all these people and their websites. He created a prompt how to make a website, and then he just ran that prompt with his AI 10,000 times and created 10,000 websites. it cost him probably $10 of compute. He didn't spend any time looking at them or editing them. He just sent out 10,000 emails. Do you want this website? And he sold around 100 of them.
Wow. Yeah.
It took him maybe a day.
Yeah. It's the capacity that you have suddenly in volume that we didn't have before, right?
Yeah, definitely.
But let me ask you now something else, because I really, it's very interesting what you say. So the other day I used AI. Actually, I didn't get the result that I wanted. So I used it and I asked, find me on LinkedIn some C-level executive that talks like you can identify that he has issues with his sales team or sales department. And the results, they were very disappointing, I have to say. Does that lay due to me prompting incorrectly? Does that lay in the fact that LinkedIn itself blocks, let's say, that activity, or what, or is just like something very generic or very difficult for AI to find?
Yes, so it's blocked, and there are tools for it. One example is brightdata.com, BRIGHT data.com. And they have even a free tier that probably for most people is enough to get an understanding. And that could really scrape LinkedIn and give you what you're looking for.
Okay, bright data.
And there are other tools like that. Here, let me show you the website. Right, so it's LinkedIn Scraper, and you can just put whatever you want, posts, companies, jobs. You collect all the information, and then you can analyze that with your AI and really get detailed information about everyone.
LinkedIn Scraper, okay.
Right.
Okay.
And there are other scraping tools. You can find other scrapers of different kinds for different purposes. For lead generation, for contact, all those things have now dedicated tools.
Very interesting.
Alex?
I wonder, what is it that, like, to me, I always feel like what I know is useless. Like I play guitar, and people always tell me, "Oh, you're such a beautiful playing. You play so beautifully, so good," and I know that I'm really bad, right? But you have to know enough about guitar to know you're really bad.
Yes.
And I feel like no matter how good I get at something, it always feels like I'm just at the bottom. I rarely know anything. But I wonder how it feels for someone who's not adapted as much yet. How does it feel to you being in this AI era?
Yes, that's a very good question, because when it comes to this computer, the computer of things, so I see my mother, right, that she has no clue about computers. I mean, she's 86, but she's trying, but it's very difficult for her. My wife tells me always, one day you will be like your mother. And the more, yes, now I start to realize that I'm starting to get on that level, that, I mean, younger generation comes and talks about things that I have no clue, or I mean, they are hard for me to grasp. But what you said is very interesting and very profound about the knowledge. You need to find the niche where you can sell this, the people that have the need, and if you can explain to them, give them actionable information, how they can use certain technology in their benefit, because we go under the assumptions that the other ones, they know as much as we do, but they don't.
I think that's even more true in the AI world, where it's overwhelming, the number of new things that are coming out. It's not even weekly anymore, it's daily. And I think the people who are in the AI world, we feel like super overwhelmed too. And we feel like, oh my God, I need to catch up on all this, but we don't
I missed today's news. It's like, I
Yeah,
missed
right.
today's news.
Exactly. And you're like, what came out? What have I missed? But we forget that there's lots of people who haven't even been on ChatGPT and don't know how to prompt. And I think there's a small group of people who are in it and are really feel like they're playing catch up all the time. But in reality, there's a huge amount of people who haven't a clue about it. And so I think we need sometimes to remind ourselves that actually it's okay.
Yes, and the new technology needs some time also to be like digested. For example, I know certain things can be done from ChatGPT, but I never think about that.
Yeah.
And then after 2 days, oh, why I haven't asked ChatGPT? It's so easy.
Put a post-it on your computer. Say, can ChatGPT do it?
Exactly.
And usually it can.
I use it every day more and more and more.
But
Yes.
it's not because it can that it should. I mean, there's things like you don't need to put AI everywhere, but I think it's super important to have AI literacy and for people to learn and educate themselves on it, because in a few years, people are going to be so lost if they don't. So I think it's important also to understand the good and the bad, because there's a lot of bad that's coming along with it as well. You know, the scammers and all that are becoming much more sophisticated. And that's why I think, not trying to scare anybody, but I think that's why having that literacy of understanding what are limitations, what are the risks, the ethics around it is important too. Like basic knowledge, just.
Absolutely.
Maria, you mentioned that you create education platform. You teach AI or create education platforms for AI?
No, so I help small businesses integrate AI into their business. So either decide what they need to bring in, or if they've already brought it in and they didn't really think about it first, like, okay, figure out what it is they really need, and then train the people to use it also. Because I'm seeing several things is like companies are going out spending lots of money on AI platforms, not asking themselves or not speaking to their people to find out if that's really what's needed or if that really can help. So is it the right tool? Where do we need to use it? And just want to put it everywhere because everybody's, as you said, everybody's talking about AI. And then there's the ones who are like, not sure, I don't know where to start. I mean, lots of people feel very overwhelmed and don't know, like, okay, I'd like to do AI, but I'm not, there's so much, like, there's so many things, I don't know where to start. So helping them understand, okay, what are the tools that could be useful in their business, and helping them, and then learning how to use them and not be afraid of AI.
Wow, incredible. So there's like an element of also figuring out the business needs and the human side and the technology side.
Yeah, because originally I coach businesses on strategy, on leadership, people, processes. And I realized last year, actually, that a lot of my clients weren't using AI. And I've been using it for a couple of years now and integrating into my business. And I was like, but you could use AI for this. I started having this conversation. And then I said, wait a second. We need to do something about this. So I went off and got a certification as a trainer. And now I integrate this into, if the client wants it, obviously. I'm not forcing anybody to use AI if they don't want to. But if there's a better way, easier, cheaper, I mean, it's never been cheaper to start a business today. And if you're a solopreneur, you should be using AI. I mean, it's so cheap and easy and makes your life so much faster, you know?
Right. There was actually a company that really inspired me. A guy named Maol Shlomo. He created a platform called Base 44.
Yeah.
And he was sitting in his house about a year ago, just coding, trying to see how vibe coding works and if you can create platforms by prompting.
Yeah.
And he would like, oh, this works. I need to connect it to a backend, and I need to build this. So he set up his structure and put in some instructions, which is basically what we were all doing. And then he started helping some friends. Do you also want a website? Do you also want a website?
Mm.
And within 6 months, he had 10,000 users paying over $100 a month, and he sold to Wix for $88 million.
Wow. Crazy. Yeah.
And the whole thing he built by himself, sitting at his computer. He did not write one line of code, he said.
Yeah.
The entire thing was just prompting and seeing what's the prompt that would solve it.
Yeah.
And then he created this platform that makes apps just by prompting his way through it, brute forcing his way.
Amazing.
So he asked AI, what's the prompt to solve this problem?
Right. And then he inputted that into his program. Yeah. And then he put it in the prompt, and then he'd fix their problem. And then he may have done it 10 times, 20 times, but once he fixed the problem, he put that solution into the system. And now the AI knew how to solve that. And then he went on to the next problem. And he built this bigger and bigger community. And first he was just servicing them himself, going into their code base, fixing it, putting in that fix into the system, and just doing that again and again and again. And within 6 months, he had this $80 million company.
Wow. Yeah, it's amazing. There's so many of those coming out right now, and now's the time, right, where it's all coming out. People are experimenting.
We're very close to a $1 trillion solopreneur.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Scary too. Would it be you?
I have a big team.
Alex, it's on our shoulders. You and me. We need to be the $1 trillion solopreneurs.
Yes.
I get like 10 Maor Shlomos standing behind my back all day, fixing all the mistakes I put in the code.
You're lucky.
I get my whole team is chasing me around trying to fix Kalman's stupidity, but it's okay.
Oh, that's great.
If somebody wants to get in touch with you, where can they find you? How they can communicate with you?
They can email me directly to my evu at kalman@evu.com.
Okay.
That's KALMAN.
Let me see if I can put it that here on the.
It's on the screen. Your name is on the screen.
Right.
Yes.
And my website.
Yeah, and your website.
And the website, evu.com, Kalman Greenfield. And on LinkedIn and YouTube and other social media.
What is that? Kalman@avu.com.
Yes.
So let me put it here. Let's use a little bit of the technology that we have. Yes, and it's show.
Yay! Nice.
Thank you. Nice. I like that. Wow. Beautiful.
Alex, not AI, right?
There you are. You're technical, Alex.
You see, Alex actually was my boss many years ago, and I really enjoyed it. And whenever I have an opportunity to do something together, I try to get to do it. We did some amazing things together. Really incredible. And I think my intro into the high tech world was through Alex.
Oh.
We had a job.
I'm very happy that I inspired you on that.
No.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was definitely you. I was doing this work. I was calling like 10 high tech companies a day and figuring out the technology and what stages they're at and seeing if they they can get funding from the EU for Verizon 2020 plan. And just being able to, I was calling all these CTOs all day, all these CEOs, and getting to see their technology and what they're building. And I was like, I got to be part of this. This is the world I have to be part of. Yeah. So thank you, Alex. You really got me on the right direction.
I'm very happy that people
really brought me
learned something from me. Yes.
It gave me a real future in my career, and I really appreciate it. And
thank you. Thank you.
You're a really big impact on my life. You brought me to a whole new level of ability. Thank you for that.
Thank you. I'm happy for that. Good. Okay, so thank you for being with us, Kalman, here in our show, in our live stream. Yes, and I hope some new business going to be generated through this live stream.
Wonderful, yeah. It was so nice meeting you. Thank you so much. And I hope we get to collaborate and meet again.
Absolutely. Here, you have the contact here.
Yeah, we'll do.